An Older People Love and Dating Guide. Chapter 1. An Older Person Love Guide. Love and Dating for Older Folk 1. So Sarah laughed to herself and said, "Now that I am old and worn out, can I still enjoy sex? And besides, my husband is old too." Genesis 18:12. Age is a state of mind. Young at heart is the aphrodisiac and love is the fountain of youth. Instead of growing old together, grow young together. All my fears of losing my sex drive as I age were shattered when I saw a talk show made up of older sexual bombshells with younger folk. It made me believe that I will still be horny at 80 provided I get that far. It's only natural that health and biological functions slow down and deteriorate with age. They simply wear down. Women have menopause, men get a midlife crisis which could be psychological and or lowered testosterone production. An antidote is estrase, herbal form of estrogen for women, and testosterone by prescription for both men and women, but it's mostly a state of mind, an active interest in life and a low-calorie diet. You might find a book or two on midlife crisis/menopause at #616.693 at the library. It's never too late to do what you want. That's the most enlightenment you can get from anybody, but you have to be true to yourself, meaning if you don't use it, you will lose it. If you're not an active, young thinking person, you will rot away sitting around working your butt off, watching TV, drinking booze or whatever it is that you do to waste your body and your soul. If you're searching for love after 40, presuming you're reasonably normal, it probably means you've been divorced. Don't act depressed like your life is over. Be attractive, romantic, and go for it again. You probably feel a little lonely and scared about starting all over again. Don't feel bad. Not all men or women out there are that shallow that they just want young things. Young things are generally sweet, pretty, selfish and get boring fast when it comes down to the reality of life. Many are just not real or realistic enough to interest many men who want emotional depth and a real friend. Many 40-ish women have been there and can give a man what he wants with mutual respect. Men know that, and some prefer older ladies. Also, no matter how old you are, you're always younger than someone else, so if you're a 40-year-old woman, a 50-year-old man will look at you as a young chickadee. The worst thing you can do is get cynical and give up on love. As long as you're alive, you always got hope. It's your sexy fun vibe that counts, not necessarily your sagging looks. The thing about working out is true. You can accomplish a lot in just a few months. You just have to get into the routine, the mindset that you're gonna do it. The first rule of romance regardless of age is that when people fall in love, they proceed to act like school kids all over again. Go for romance as though you're 20 years old. It doesn't necessarily get any easier to look for someone, but why not reinvent yourself and reassert your search? Hang out with young folk wherever you can meet them, at work, at the gym, friends, whatever. Attitude is everything. You can go for young folk, that's your business, but you have to have something to offer them and be ready for their young minds, which may sometimes seem not all that mature. The easiest way for an older woman to find love is to hang out at places where older gents might go, like golf clubs, yacht clubs, racket clubs, the National Rifle Association, 1600 Rhode Island Avenue. NW, Washington, D.C. 20036nra.org, the local shooting range, coffee shops, jazz clubs, select piano bars, church, astronomy clubs, scuba diving class, baseball umpire class, then umpire little league, etc. A great place to meet nice older people is through outdoor activities like camping and hiking. Check with your local camping store for details about clubs in your area. Try out the Sierra Club, sierraclub.org/outings, or the YMCA, ywca.org, ymca.net. A good one is a local animal or pet club and gardening societies. Another great option is Hosteling International. Hostels.org. IYHF.org. They have over 200 hostels in the United States. These are not the hippie-like places you went to during the 70s, they're a highly structured, altruistic organization that offer tours and outings to members and tourists alike as well as the traditional, inexpensive overnight lodgings. They're not just for the young, anybody can join. For the paltry annual membership fee, you can meet nice men on the organized, regular outings and local tours which many of the middle and older aged members partake in. You can't go wrong with middle-aged guys who care enough about life to go hiking. Hell, most guys that age are bona fide, cynical couch potato alcoholics. Join groups like bird-watching societies, the local bowling league, etc. That's where the nice, middle-aged folk are. Take courses that established middle-agers take like investing, real estate, ham radio operations, basic carpentry, woodworking, painting, pottery, gun care, computer internet access, pet care, etc. Check out your local newspapers in the entertainment/local sections for events like golf tournaments, jazz and folk festivals, singles clubs dances, square dancing, country dancing, boat races, computer shows, car races, jogging fun runs, etc. Up in the northern climates, you could join a group that does mall walking for exercise during the winter. It's a great opportunity to exercise the karma flux rule, that anything can happen anytime, anywhere with anybody as long as you're out there. Check out mixed sports like softball, golf, bowling, curling, tennis, volleyball, etc. Live where other singles live, one-bedroom apartments, singles apartments, or places near university campuses. Start a club or your own chapter of an existing national club. Simply look through the hobbies section of the Encyclopedia of Associations at your local library until you find one you like, then contact them for more information. Advertise on bulletin boards, make up a press release for your local newspaper, use your initiative to talk on TV and radio, find a meeting place and do it. Don't feel self-conscious about being single. Live a full life as though you're having fun. Keep making yourself available and keep dating. Don't let age get you down. There's still heat in the oven. Don't be afraid of dating dull-looking, middle-aged men. Many are nice people who would give a lot if given the chance. Many people die a spiritual death by 40, giving way to a comfortable life of complacency for the rest of their lives. Don't give in. Eat high-protein foods to get a healthy gloss to your skin. Love and dating for older folk too. The older you get, the less leverage you have in the search for a younger mate. Dating covers the same emotions and insecurities regardless of age. I've openly talked about the need for soul in life, the need for anyone to find their souls and save some money before seeking out love, which is why I believe society as a whole puts the pressure on getting married way too young, the net result being a 50+% divorce rate. Just because people get married at a young age doesn't mean you have to. It especially doesn't mean you love the person you're marrying. We get married way too young. Even though you have to take the risk of an untested love for the hope of a great future life together, there is no sure thing, and of the marriages that don't break up, how many are dull and generic? Most people who get married in their 20s aren't compatible with that person for life. You don't usually know yourself before 35, so that's a good age, at least for men if not older. Women worry about their biological clock, but they should be wary of getting married too soon for the wrong reasons, like to have a baby instead of for true love, or simply to get married due to cultural reasons because to be single and over 30 is considered unacceptable to many women. The problem with most older people over 30 or so in the love game is the problems with their lives. They're morbid brainwashed people living culturally brainwashed lives, trying to be cool as defined by the system, with no true originality or inspiration to them as honorable human beings within themselves. That's why you fail in love, because you've let yourself go, given up on living an interesting life as you work a job, buy trendy things and think that your nice car and your nice clothes will lead you to a new mate, but this is all window dressing. Know that the real you is who you are in your soul. Most women only have a certain window of time up until about the age of 35 before their looks start to go, so they have to get on the search for a mate right away. Guys can still look good enough to attract young women well into their 60s, and if they ain't got looks, money and status are good substitutes. Some people wait until later to search for a mate. Most don't, but they have no choice when they either get a divorce or their spouse dies. They're out in the dating pool again after 10 or more years and feel rusty about it. Personally, I feel that nothing much changes in the dating game as we age. We have more money and cars, we are more set in our ways, but the game is the same. You look for someone you like and hope they like you, you make a date and try to put your best foot forward, but the same old nervousness, anxiety, insecurity, and excitement are always there if you feel something for this person. You want them to like you back. Who you attract is usually who you deserve. Be a superficial lost soul who tries to imitate phony cool TV characters, and that's who you will get and deserve. By 35, you're out of the pool of a free youth. The world is geared for youth. When you're young, you can go anywhere footloose and fancy-free as part of the experience of life. The nightclubs are full of young people under 30, so wherever you go as a single older person, you somehow feel that you're surrounded by young people, the old one in the crowd. All your former friends and allies are either married, divorced, or off brooding somewhere now that they've lost themselves due to a paunchy gut and middle-aged mundanity. Add to that, the fact that you probably have job responsibilities, a mortgage, maybe kids from a previous marriage, taking care of aging parents, etc. Also, you're set in your ways, kinda like my way or the highway, you know what you want and don't care about anything else. You have a mundane, comfortable life and stay there, not deviating much, not meeting new people, if any at all. Many older people try personal ads and dating services which have some success, but it's still not like the spontaneous chance encounter with a soulmate somewhere sometime. Many divorcees and otherwise scorned lovers wear their hearts on their sleeves. They look miserable and angry and often act that way with the opposite sex, often without even realizing. Many guys and girls subconsciously hate all members of the opposite sex after a few failed relationships, and it shows. They sabotage potential relationships by being nasty or arrogant upfront. This is often done on a subconscious level without them realizing it. Don't be nasty. Check the attitude you give off. A lot of dames give off an uppity, professional type vibe, like I'm an accomplished professional with a master's degree. I deserve a top-of-the-line guy, but the thing is, guys don't care about that. It could work against you because if you appear too independent, it comes off as cold. What guys really want is a girl unspoiled by the agenda of the world with a warm heart. Nobody can stand misery, loneliness, or someone who let their looks and body go. A lot of middle-aged people got fat, lost hair, and started wearing nerdy, pro-establishment clothes like suits all the time. If you look like a generic, middle-aged nerd, what do you expect? You have to have a look of youthful vitality about you if you expect to score with somebody comparable, at your level. If you're a dull, middle-aged nerd, you can fall in love, but it will be with a dull, middle-aged nerdess like yourself, so be real about your expectations. A lot of people go through midlife crises and suddenly go bohemian in their 40s or 50s. For me, this happened at about the age of 28. I realized I wouldn't be happy pursuing the lifestyle of a college professor, so I walked away and lived a bohemian lifestyle for the past 20 years. I think it's great. Nothing can help you find love more than to take a real interest in your natural inspiration and to set on a course to express yourself creatively. When you're living a free and easy lifestyle like this, you attract all the other sensitive, intuitive, offbeat, creative types, and these people are much more interesting and accepting of others than people caught up in the rat race. You know I don't believe in psychobabble, so I say don't dwell on your past or your past relationships. Purge them and live in the moment for the future. Love and dating for older folk 3. Don't live in the past. Live in the moment, now. A lot of middle-aged people get tight. They get set in their ways, develop narrow-minded values, become conservative in their thinking, and get dull in their activities. Try to stay loose and free about life. It makes you look more approachable and cooler. If you're 30-something or 40-something and have kids, So what? It's nothing to be ashamed of. You're divorced or widowed, raising kids as a single parent. I cover this topic of single parenting extensively in my family book. In today's world, there is no stigma attached to being a single parent. Approach dating the same regardless of whether you have kids or not. If someone loves you but can't accept your kids, move on. They don't really love you. Other than getting a babysitter, dating with kids should be no big deal. If you place personal ads, put that fact in, single parent. Two big advantages older folks should have over younger ones when it comes to dating is that you got some money and you got your identity, so you should be relaxed by now, comfortable in your own skin. If a date doesn't work, so what? You still got yourself and your house. The world ain't gonna cave in. It's not like young people who are so intense, who live life as an all or nothing proposition, kinda like give me true love or give me nothing. By middle age, you should be mature enough to know you will never meet a perfect soulmate. You should be calmer and more relaxed about life and the pursuit of love. The way I see it is that you should search for love by searching for yourself. Embark on the adventure that is your life. Be brave enough to go out and try new activities where you'll meet new people. The most common way older people meet is through common interests. It could be church, volunteering, at work, bowling, singing, at the coffee shop, hiking club, Scrabble club, etc. The important thing is to be out there rather than sitting at home. It's a mix. While you're cementing your identity and trying new things, provided you're sincere and intense, someone will see that and be attracted to you. It's a bit of living and searching for love. Don't search for love in a vacuum. Focus on living a glorious life for you and the love should come. Whatever you do, don't give in to comfort. Life was not meant for comfort according to my standards. I have to challenge myself to live up to my internal standard every day. I have written about this in my book A Free Spirit's Search for Enlightenment. If you're comfortable and dull, people aren't attracted to you. People are attracted to people out in the field of endeavor, doing something in the arena of life. Are you interesting, inspired, good-looking, easygoing, warm enough that you would date yourself? See yourself the way others see you, not how think you are in the privacy of your mind. The most common anxieties people have about dating in middle age are: I'm over the hill, my time is past. I look like a middle-aged dud. I'll just be hurt again. I might catch an STD. I don't fit in out there in the dating game. All of this might be true, but it's chance you have to take if you plan to find love again. You have to be in the game to find love. Dating is still a bit of phoniness. We're all a little phony trying to portray ourselves as more exciting than we actually are, but presumable we're more mature, we're not full of poop as much as we were when we were kids. Try to make friends before you try for romance. If you like to drink, you have to make a choice because alcohol makes older men impotent. If you're looking for love and sex, you can't serve two masters. If you place personal ads, expect a substantial percentage of the men who answer them to be married, even though they might lie about it. There's a book out there called Boomer Babes by Linda Stassi and Rosemary Rogers. Love and Dating for Older Folk 4. Love is what happens when you're busy living your life as opposed to sitting home, watching TV. We tend to think it's hopeless if you're not married by 40, but the truth is that there are millions and millions of single people out there of all ages. It's not like the old days when everybody was married even if they were miserable marriages. There are tons of single people out there looking for love, just be cool enough to meet them halfway. Most women actively seek out lovers all through their lives their own age, while men generally either seek out young lovers or none at all. In fact, some men and women over 40 are so set in their ways, so physically unattractive, overweight, don't take care of themselves, and so freewheeling with respect to what are generally considered bad habits like booze, drugs, junk food, sports on TV, couch potatoism, etc., that no self-respecting woman would ever go out with such a guy anyway. If you want love, you must choose life. Live inspired and youthfully vital and get out there. Love doesn't fall into your lap. You have to actively pursue it. You probably live in a comfort zone that you haven't deviated from in the last 10 years. Try different things. Instead of eating at home, try different restaurants or at least try different places to get your morning coffee and donut. Breakfast is an unself-conscious time to go out and eat alone. Try grocery shopping at different supermarkets. Try different churches, different laundromats, different gas stations, etc. Walk different routes around your home and work, try different things like libraries, museums, art galleries, etc. Go to events with a same-sex friend. There are plenty in the newspaper and in your local tourist guide. Go to places where the opposite sex outnumbers you. Women should try business things like joining the local chamber of commerce, men should try arts and crafts and educational/cultural things. Older people go to school and take classes too. Do physical activities and stick with them. Join the biggest gym in town, the biggest aerobics place, the YMCA, a martial arts dojo, tennis club, etc. Singles events which are geared to meeting a prospective mate are generally awkward. Disguise it by doing activities out of interest where there are like-minded people. Find activities for the people in the age group you want to attract, physical activities for younger people, more leisurely cultural activities for older people. It all comes down to your willingness to risk putting yourself in uncomfortable situations by getting out of your comfort zone to meet new people. Know who you really are, then seek a like-minded partner. Don't just go for a wallet who drives a nice car. In order to attract an equitable soulmate, you have to be worthy within yourself and know within yourself that you deserve it, but don't be too egotistical about it. Confidence is good but arrogance is not. As an older person, be wary of the substitute mate syndrome, whereby you're comfortable with your cat, parents, friends, your children, etc. They give you some of the love that you need such that it makes you lazy in the search for a mate, maybe even subconsciously pushing it away. If this is you, check yourself. See if you really want a mate, then wean yourself away from your substitutes and get onto the hunt. Many people fear marriage because they fear the consequences, loss of freedom and possible divorce. It's a two-way street, a double-edged sword. You gotta realize what you want, then act. Either stay single or choose to find a mate, then don't teeter on the fence. Go for whichever option you pick. Some of us don't really want to get married. We just choose it based on the perceived expectations of others. Once again, search your soul to see who you really are, then go for it. Many artistic and adventurous types prefer variety to coupling. Some of us have a personal cause which is more important than seeking a mate, like a religious zealot, a feminist, a writer pursuing his craft, an artist pursuing his visions, someone married to their jobs, a commitment to a free and easy life, etc. Check yourself to see if that's you. The biggest mistake made by most people, especially women over 35, in the search for a mate is that when you meet a nice guy, you give yourself away by being a selfish twit, acting like you're shopping for a mate by asking a lot of stupid questions and acting like a psychobabble psychologist, all the while trying to pretend you're really interested in him, not just in a formula for a picture-perfect mate. You don't pick a guy via formula. He picks you or rejects you via the intuitive warmth or lack thereof he feels coming from you. If you act like a typical 35-year-old desperado looking for the guy to meet your standard with your endless barrage of penetrating personal questions with a facade of spiritual profundity and interest in the guy, but so obviously checking him out like you check out a car, you lose. If you're a true friend with some semblance of innocent youthful spark left, he will probably stay. Don't check him out with a checklist or be too analytical in general. It will turn him off. He will resent you for it and leave. Be more natural. Let it flow to where it's going. Everybody's selfish, that's cool. If he shows you a moderate amount of consideration and time over and above his own life, that's good enough. By now, he's set in his ways. He knows what he likes and does it. Everybody is the most important person to themselves on the planet. Don't expect some phony scene out of a movie. Expect a balance of love and self-interest, time with each other, time doing your own things. Beware of guys with an extensive past history of family life with several ex-wives and several kids. No matter how loving they are, it's a lot of baggage to deal with. You can't be a narrow-minded person brainwashed by the mass media. Think about your life, figure it out and be yourself, then go out and find someone. Don't fall into a half-assed relationship. Find yourself, then seek true love. Be realistic. Don't compromise, just don't live in an unrealistic fantasy land expecting a magnificent prince out of a movie who doesn't exist in the real world. Some older people set unreasonably high expectations to subconsciously sabotage themselves, so they reject everyone they come across as undesirable. In the end, by the time they reach middle age, most people are over the superstar complex of trying to appear as advanced beings to the world and live in their own space, which is good because you're more real that way, so expect more down-to-earth people in that age group, not all phony pretentious people trying to act all cool and exciting, but I see phonies at every age level. Age is not necessarily automatically the path to wisdom. Chapter 2. Older People Dating Issues. First marriage after 40. Our culture has us brainwashed into believing that if you don't get married before 35, it's basically over, especially for women, what with the statistics showing women increasingly outnumbering men as they get older. But it's not all that bad. Many single and extremely overweight women prefer to remain single, so they're out of the competition. Marriage is a symbolic act to the world that two people in love are bonded till death do us part, hence, it's never too late to challenge the old myths about it. You're entitled to take as much time as you want to find a mate. Society, in general, is becoming more open to later age marriages, so there isn't as much of a stigma as before about getting out there, socializing, circulating and finding someone. It may be that you haven't quite found the right one yet, you're busy with your career, or the right one hasn't found you. There are some concerns with first marriages over 40. Firstly, it's the question of independence. If you've been doing things your own way all this time, like sleeping alone in your bed, you'd better prepare yourself for the adjustment. Many people look down on singles over 40, thinking them to be a little weird, maybe selfish, maybe still too attached to their parents, maybe emotionally unstable. There could be a variety of reasons why someone doesn't marry before 40. Maybe they're slobs, maybe they're afraid of intimacy, maybe they're artists who need to be alone to work on their creativity. Maybe they're workaholics obsessed with getting rich. Who really knows the real reasons why? The biological clock is ticking, and it's now or never for the single woman. Presumably, you're both more mature, you each have a lifetime of experience behind you, but there's a big gap from all those important, nostalgic teenage years, so you will have less reference points from the past with which to share. Theoretically, there's more to catch up on, but the intense memories of youth have long since faded, and you're both staring middle age in the face, so be ready for problems, and no one is divorce-proof. It will be a day-to-day, life-sharing compromise. Each of you will have already long-established friends that will somehow have to be integrated into the relationship. One would think that age makes you wise, but it also makes you set in your ways, so it's a tough call both ways. It usually ends up a bit of both. See the marriage as a symphony. Together, you're much more than the one alone. Let it grow. Be ready for unexpected problems and challenges. Let go of some of your independent pride. Through thick and thin, be there when she gets sick or he gets depressed. Gradually make the change from hanging out with singles as you've been accustomed to for the past 20 years to hanging out with married couples. You will already be established with each of your own separate lives, so the marriage won't automatically flow into the 50s stereotype of the family. Take care of practical concerns, i.e., single bank accounts, moving in together, bills, etc. If he supports you, do something back for him. Talk realistically about the standard of living you both expect to live. Consider a prenuptial agreement if each of you are going in with considerable assets amassed over half a lifetime. Share your personal things, but if some things are exclusively individual properties, talk about them and make agreements. Balance work with love. Age doesn't necessarily bring wealth, so watch your money. Two can live just as cheaply and better overall than one. In essence, marriage later on in life could be the greatest aphrodisiac of all in the search for the elusive fountain of youth. Presumably, you've each had some experience with sex, so the relationship in the bedroom should come easier, and presumably you're both not all consumed with the red, hot from the fire passionate brand of sex traditionally associated with youth. Who's to know, except that by now, presumably you realize that the emotional component of the act is just as fulfilling and important as the physical part if done upright. For the first time, if you've never lived with anyone before, a sexual partner is readily available. Do it upright, just like young couples. Don't overdo it trying to make up for the last 20 years so that the passion fizzles out right away. Experiment, but don't get too kinky. Before, you might have gone out looking for sex, but now you have a wife that you can make love to. A woman's sexual capacity peaks in her late 30s and remains constant until old age. Some women actually increase in sexual drive after menopause. Men, on the other hand, gradually become less potent and virile as they age. Quality may stay high, but quantity will decrease with age. The pressure of work also takes its toll. Children later on in life may be more of a burden than if younger, because once again, you're presumably more set in your ways and less energetic. You will get sicker more often, thus endangering the child. You may die, leaving the child stranded. There are medical risks with middle-age pregnancies. Kids may feel self-conscious with older parents. Through all this, the one big advantage for older parents is that they are generally more established both financially and emotionally, thus able to provide better for a new baby than a naive, young couple living by the seat of their pants. So, all in all, I truly believe that age is a state of mind. It shouldn't affect a good marriage between two loving people one bit, regardless of age. In fact, I remember a story on TV about a 95-year-old guy marrying an 83-year-old young un and a 63-year-old woman giving birth through artificial conception. If they can do it, so can you. The empty nest syndrome. The empty nest syndrome refers to parents who have raised children who have now all moved out of the house. For some, this is a good thing because it gives them some freedom away from their kids. For others, especially women, it's devastating. They feel lonely and empty without kids around. People get romantic, fall in love, get married, have kids, raise them for about 20 years, then the kids leave, they're fatter, older and dumpier, but you shouldn't get depressed and feel empty. You should be happy that you're free again and continue the romance just like it was before you had kids. When the kids leave, that's the perfect opportunity for you to get to know each other again as a couple. As good parents, you will be well advised to butt out of your children's marriages unless they ask for your help. The secret to a good marriage even after many years is to still treat each other as if you had just met and were doing everything in your power to win each other's heart. The old rituals of courtship and dating never cease, especially when your children have left home and you're alone again. While secure in knowing that the love and trust is there, happy couples take pains to prove it every day. If you watch your health, you should be able to stay sexually active for the rest of your life. Many women are brainwashed into thinking that sex is over at menopause. It's a myth, just like the empty nest syndrome, which asserts that women get depressed when the kids grow up and leave home. There are hormonal changes, but it's all attitude. You're still potentially as sexual as you want to be. Empty nest syndrome is considered a mental illness by some because it leads to serious depression and loneliness. emptinestmagazine.com, emptinestmoms.com, emptinestsupport.com, en.wikipedia.org/wiki/empty_nest_syndrome. The Seasoned Woman. The book Sex and the Seasoned Woman, 2006, by Gail Sheehy, is a glossy look at how aging supposedly frees women and makes them more vital and exploratory, but in reality, It's a cheap book written to make money by giving older women this illusory kind of hope and fantasy that life is oh so wonderful as you age and can have trysts without fear of consequence. To me, it's geared for middle to upper class women who have no financial worries, look marvelous, have no medical problems and spend their time in exotic cafes, hair salons, and on tennis courts. The book is a delusion much like Sex and the City is. It presents this phony view of older women and sexuality and never addresses the biggest problem of all, that of loneliness. There are nice, romance novel-like, erotic stories about sexual trysts, but this woman is supposed to be a serious sociologist or journalist or whatever it is she presents herself as to the world, but there was no honesty in the hardships of growing old, just a glossed over sermon on work out 6 times a week and continue to look good so that men still see you as doable or F-cable to be more precise. It's all about selling books. Identify a target market, older women, then market a sex book at them. It's a big lie. How many older women do you know that are like her characters who are supposedly real people? I would have been more pleased if she approached it like Betty Dodson does, with honesty. Talk about masturbation, losing your looks, your health, your sex drive and lesbianism. Don't just say how the men all hit on you at the restaurant because you're so much more elegant and experienced than the younger chicks. The thing that gets me is that all these millions of women watch these phony images, these books and TV shows present, then naively think that this must be real and what cool, liberated women do. So then you watch the TV talk shows and you see some woman who's a shopping addict in debt up to her ears actually describe herself as like the characters in Sex and the City. Then you know the power of pop culture trash to help people destroy their lives. Age does not necessarily bring wisdom with it. I've seen older men and women act like fools. While it's excusable in the game of love, get over the delusion that people actually give a damn about what you look like unless they plan to have sex with you. It's the old runway fantasy, that you look so fabulous when you're walking through the mall or down the street that there's a spotlight on you shining down from the heavens because you're so beautiful and all the men are gushing over you. This is what they market to women of all ages as the way to be cool, fulfilled and happy, and middle to older women still fall for it. Why don't you get real? Call a spade, be who you really are. I'm always looking for girls strong enough to be really who they are without all that pop culture indoctrination getting in the way, and I almost never find them. It would be refreshing to meet a girl whose hair is not caked over with hair color, whose lips are not oversaturated with lipstick, who is doing something substantial and original with her life in an unassuming way, just here being her. Everybody claims to be like this, but where are they? And what about this obsession with hairstyles? She spent more time describing her characters' hairstyles than describing who they were in their souls, and according to the book jacket, she was 68 years old when she wrote this book. How long do you have to be brainwashed for? For some people, it's an entire lifetime. The deal is that your soul tells the world who you really are. People with great, inspired, beautiful souls have that natural radiance about themselves. It doesn't matter what their hairstyle is. As a matter of fact, the more manufactured it is as opposed to your natural hair the way it naturally is, the more fake it makes you look. drdianawiley.com, sex expert for the over 40 crowd. Chapter 3. If you want love, keep looking. Keep looking for love. You're as young right now as you're ever gonna be. For I'm not so old and not so plain. And I'm quite prepared to marry again. W.S. Gilbert, Ireland. If you ain't dead, there's always room for love. If you're a widow, don't feel guilty. You're entitled to your happiness, and if that means a new lover, so be it. The stereotype in society is that older people are sexless, boring duds playing cards and going to church, but the truth is that your thoughts, desires, and consciousness don't change all that much as you age, if at all. The body gets older but the mind is still sharp, so sexual and loving thoughts are always there. We still need intimacy and sexual fulfillment, it's that simple. All sexual surveys from Kinsey to the present report that most people stay sexually active in old age one way or another, either through masturbation or real sex with someone else. At one time, 20 years ago or so, if you were widowed or even divorced past about the age of 45, it was generally expected that you would stay single for the rest of your life because this was the cultural view, that you had your shot now it was over and you would live passively now until the end. Widows were expected to mourn the lost spouse and never marry again no matter what. Some widowers were allowed to remarry if they had small kids to raise, but that was as far as the customs went. In today's world, we simply live longer than we did 50 years ago, so all tradition goes out the window when widows find themselves alone relatively young and don't want to be lonely for the rest of their lives. The commercial mass media has conditioned us to think that older people aren't sexy and romantic, just duds who play golf and take Geritol, but there has been a little backlash to this which is now more pronounced than ever. The sitcom The Golden Girls was good in showing us that older women felt sexy and romantic and were entitled to pursue relationships regardless of age. This is a great attitude to have, which I hope a lot of unhappy older people get who think it's over just because they're widowed or divorced at an older age and think the proper thing to do is sit home because nobody wants them and they don't want to antagonize their children. The truth is that there are a great many over 50 people out there looking for companionship and love, but it's harder for them to connect because technically the world is geared for youth. Old people are pushed to the back. You have to find the places where the old people go and score there. Join clubs like gardening, hiking, ecological and stuff where there's younger folk you can meet for dates or to set you up on dates. Ask your children and grandchildren to set you up on dates with older folk. Threaten to move into your children's homes unless they hook you up. Move to a bigger city with more activities and clubs geared specifically for seniors. Maintain your own personal interest in life. Get inspired, do something worthy in a hands-on way to help people, and you might come across a potential partner for you. Get involved with church/political activities. Hang out at the senior center. Join a square dancing/ballroom dancing club. Widows outnumber the men 10 to 1 there. Go to the community center dances, i.e. try the Lions/Kiwanis/Legion for such affairs. They generally like to socialize with new members. In my hometown, anybody, regardless of age or military service, was allowed to join the Legion. It was a social club. Consider a retirement community. If you live in an apartment, ask the doorman or the maintenance guy if he knows of any sexy-looking seniors around. Hang out at hospitals, perhaps do some volunteer work. It's a fact, older people go to hospitals. It doesn't mean they're almost dead, it just means they need extra care. Check out funerals, you never know. Go back to where you grew up, look around for long-lost friends and lost lovers. You might reunite and hit it off. Network with your friends. They might have an older person in their circle of friends who might fit you. Start a club of singles of both sexes or a club of single women and have suppers where they invite their male friends over along with a few of the girls in the hope they might hook up. Look around for cruises that cater to older people. If you're a guy, try to get on at those Merry Widow cruises where they let a few guys on for free, they train you as hosts, to dance with all the widows there. This is the place for an older dude to score. Find senior magazines and place ads in them. Go to senior websites and place ads there. Get my senior book and my travel book for resources. If you get married after 50, finances will presumably be more complex because you will have probably acquired all the material things you need plus some kids along the way. Get rid of some of the things like furniture since you're going to be living together. Your kids might be jealous or they might be happy for you. Give them some of the things you don't need, tell them you will be happy, and if they're still jealous, tell them to butt out, you ain't dead yet. Pick one house to live in if each has separate houses, sell one and make some kind of deal where each pays something to contribute to living expenses unless you're very rich and don't want to charge her. In a word, be fair with each other about paying bills even though you're married to each other. Because you're both presumably mature and probably have kids, nieces, nephews, etc., Keep as much of your personal wealth in separate accounts so you can each make up separate wills to attend to your personal obligations to the family you had before you married this new person. Put it into your will that if one dies, the other spouse can live in the house until he dies and your kids inherit it or something equitable like that. Many older people are excessively materialistic and set in their ways. I would hope that by the time you hit 55, you'd realize home decor and most of that other materialist crap has very little to do with happiness, so you wouldn't fuss over it, make a big deal about it with your new spouse, and hopefully get rid of a lot of it by giving it away to friends, family, and charity. Also, a lot of guys are set in their ways, so if you're with a really nitpicky guy who doesn't want you to move the rocking chair or eat at a different time than his usual hour, be wary. These could be danger signals that the old fart is better left alone to his own life. On the other hand, if you find a fun old cutie who likes to dance, sing, hike, etc., they're probably a good catch because they're not all morbid and depressed like some old folks just waiting to die. A lot of divorced people say their former spouses and kids are often against their new flame and try to sabotage them, probably because they're afraid of getting cut out of the will. Tell them straight that you don't want them meddling, and if they do, you will be forced to reduce their allotment in their will. Because you're both old-timers set in your ways, give each other space both physically in the house and time-wise. You can still do romantic things together like young folk, but be slower about it. She may need her time to knit or sleep while you might need time to read the paper and get your kidney dialysis. There will be compromises and embarrassing moments due to age. If he wears a colostomy bag, it's not very romantic, but if you love him, you will overlook it. Many older guys are drunks, older gals pill addicts. Be ready for it. Beware of power struggles. At the age of 55 or so, you're as set in your ways as you're ever gonna be. We hope you're mature enough to live and let live, but some people aren't. They feel their way is the right way and that's it, and have to impose it onto their spouses. Be wary of someone who's too independent, too strong-minded, and seeks to impose their will onto others. Because older people either generally work less or retire at some point in time, don't spend all your time together in the same house. Get out to do your own hobbies, whatever they may be, to give the other a break from you. Be ready for medical problems and help out with your spouse's medical hardships. If the social stigma is too great, move to another town and make new friends who won't criticize you for marrying late. If it's not working, don't stay. Get divorced and try again. The following are cities with a high per capita senior population. Some are retirement-oriented like many of the southern ones. Some are nice but expensive like Pebble Beach or Palm Springs with plenty of golf courses at a price. Carson City, NV. Las Cruces, NM. Chapel Hill, North Carolina. Hilton Head, SC. Naples, Florida. Tampa, St. Petersburg, Florida. Orlando, Florida. Gainesville, Florida. Naples, Florida. FT. Myers, FL. Keys, Florida. Boca Raton, Florida. San Antonio, Texas. Hampton, Virginia. Olympia, Washington. Colorado Springs, Co. Phoenix, Arizona. Scottsdale, Arizona. Palm Springs, CA. Pebble Beach, CA. Carmel, CA. San Diego, CA. Bloomington Inn. Maui, Hawaii. Hot Springs Village, AR. Dating is almost the same one. Based on talking to people, I've realized that many men between 40 and 55 want someone under 30, while most women over 35 are looking for somebody older than they are because they know they ain't gonna attract anyone their own age. It's the way it is. Women barely over 35 seem kind of desperate. They say they're ready to take anyone up to about 60. It's a real gender reversal thing, that fact that older men want them young while older women want them old. I don't buy into the cougar thing much because women generally want one guy. They know some young guy ain't gonna hang around. Many of the mainstream dating sites have categories for older people, or you just simply post a profile regardless of age. Some of the general senior websites have a dating section on them, but there are very few dating websites exclusively for people over 50. I think this is because older men with money and status want younger women, so they generally don't want to post their ads on older dating websites. Older women can generally only attract men their age or older. Don't look back. Your life is now. You ain't dead yet. There is still time for love and/or sex. Try to look good by exercising. Looking for love, getting out of your comfort zone, takes guts. You might feel awkward at first, but the process of falling in love is still the same as when you were a teenager. Your kids generally don't want you to remarry because it will cut into their inheritance from you. Focus on friendship first. Older people accept other older people for the bodily changes of aging. There are worthy older people around. Don't drink too much, smoke or take too many prescription drugs. Join a social club that covers your hobby. There are social clubs and bars that cater to older people. A piano bar is usually for the older crowd. If you trust your friends, tell them to introduce you to possible lovers. Just remember, nothing has changed about the mating game. You're older, fatter, and uglier, but other than that, it's exactly the same. Try hashtag 646.77 or HQ1059 at the library. Dating is almost the same too. Age shouldn't change people much. They're as fumbling as ever. They feel the same emotions and giddiness on a date. I used to be a sociable, well-intentioned guy, but I'm cynical now, even though I still know how to act sociable around people I don't trust, which is everybody. Age hardens a lot of people, but if you talk to me, you'd think I was an upbeat kind of guy, which I am. It's just that I think the human race sucks. If you want to meet people, you have to act upbeat. I'm upbeat, but I've been betrayed a lot, so now I just kinda take everybody in stride, no one seriously. It's a good attitude to have to go dating because you're still open to life and new experiences. If you want to meet someone new, you cannot be set in your ways and live in a rut. Get rid of all pictures and other reminders of your deceased spouse in the house. Call a spade a spade. Accept your limited body. If you start getting close to someone, tell them about your serious medical condition. Be more relaxed than when you were young. I presume you're looking for companionship more than sex, but you want sex too. You're not a prude just because you're over 50. Try to look good for your age. Live a healthy lifestyle. Wear decent clothes. Get dental implants if you can afford them. You have to stand out to the old crowd. Go where older people go. There's golf, bingo, church, the hospital, the malls, retirement communities, retirement centers, etc. Try online dating. Don't be paranoid about a guy getting fresh. At this age, you should not have to pretend you're saving it. Do it. Have sex with a handsome stranger on the first date. Older men with money can attract young women. Older women can attract young men if they're bold sexually. Be wary of evil old people. Just because someone is over 60 doesn't mean he or she is necessarily a good person. Practice safe sex. Many older people get AIDS. Back in the day, you had to get married before you could live together. Nowadays just do it if you feel it. You don't need a marriage license. If you want to marry, that's fine too. You have to get over your modified body due to aging. Get out there and socialize. Don't stall or play hard to get. If you like someone, let them know. If you want a casual relationship for sex or fun as opposed to a monogamous relationship, say it. If you want to have several lovers, you can do it if you're attractive. Advertise on flirt.com, fling.com, alt.com, etc. Type your dates' names into internet search engines to see what comes up. Being romantic and creative is for everybody, not just the youth. Don't talk about your past emotional baggage. Talk about now. There are older men and women out there looking to meet older people, romance them, then steal their money. Don't let your adult children try to dissuade you from dating. They got their eye on inheritance. They do not want someone new in the way. I say don't color your hair. You are what you are. Whenever I go to a bar, all I see is young people. Find bars geared for older people like jazz or piano bars. There are lots of older people in Vegas and Florida beach communities. Older people volunteer and go to charity events. There are singles trips, some for seniors. There are public gyms where seniors go like the YMCA. If you remember friends from youth, give them a call. You're not dead until you die. There is always the chance for romance if you want it. There is a big age range in the category of old. It goes from 40 onwards. Try speed dating if you want. If you want love, slow your career down. Appropriate period before dating after death of spouse. People generally say 6 months. I was listening to one of them snap true crime shows. The guy married someone a month after his wife was murdered. That put him up there on the suspect list. drdavand.com/morning.html widowserwidowers.com dating advice. How long should a widow or widower wait before remarrying? shulcha.naruchhrav.com halacha. How long must a widow or divorcee wait to remarry? Chapter 4. An over 50 dating website guide. Over 50 dating websites. 1. Try hashtag 646.77 or HQ1059 at the library. ChristianMingle.com and OurTime.com are the biggest older people dating websites. thirdage.com/dating/internet-advantages-disadvantages-and-advice. Metacafe.com/watch/205305/1000_free_sites_for_mature_singles. lovemusiclovedance.com/single/dating-after-40.htm. senior-dating-site-review.com. onestopromance.com. 50connect.co.uk. 50plus-club.ca. 50plus-club.ca/dating. 50plus-club.com. 50plus-club.com/dating. 50plusrelationships.com. 50yearsplus.com. a1-dating-service.com. above50.com. above40.com. agematch.com, matches older men with younger women and more. americansinglay.com. babyboomerpassions.com. b2.ca/senior_dating. boomercafe.com. charlieandari.com. cougardate.com, 40ish women with younger men. cuddlesdating.com/senior_dating.html. cupidsreviews.com/personal/senior-dating.html. dateexpectations.com. dateseniors.com. datingforparents.com. datingforseniors.com. dating-personals-free.com. datingzneyersingles.com. datingzinglayreview.com/primezinglay.html. directory of dating.com/category/seniordating.shtml. dirtylaurie.com, over 30-year-old single women called cougars looking for men. ians.com. Over 50 dating websites too. 50already.com. 50-somethingwomen.com. findahusbandafter35.com. findingloveafter50.com. friendsover50.co.uk. funity40.com. jenkhat123.com, find senior chat room. hurrydates-in-black.com/senior.html. iseniordatingservice.com. jseniormatch.com. justforfunpersonals.com/senior-personals.html. licidaily.com, dating advice. lonersonwheels.com, RV drivers. lovecompass.com/special_dating/seniors. m4mseniors.com. mabels.org.uk/dating_older_women.htm. maturedatinguk.com. maturefreeandsingle.com. maturesinglesonly.com. maydecember.net. meeting-love.net. megafriends.com. Over 50 dating websites 3. olderwomens.net. ourtime.com. over40enzingele.com. over40dating.com. over50dating.com. over50sromance.com, British. over60dating.com. over50s.com. over50sfriends.co.uk. over30singles.com. peersy-senior-personals.com. perfectseniors.com. prime.lavalife.com. primesingly.com. primesingly.net. primesingly.net, all ages but really for older people. quality-singles.com/older-singles.htm. sassyseniors.com. seekseniors.com. seniorcircles.com. seniorcupid.com. seniordate.net. seniordatefinder.com. seniordatingconnection.com. seniordatingexchange.com. senior.friendfinder.com. seniordatings.org. senior-dating-site-review.com. seniorfriendfinder.com. seniorfriends.us. seniorjournal.com. Over 50 dating websites 4. seniorlovedates.com. seniormatch.com. seniormaturedating.info. seniorpeoplemeet.com. seniorplanet.org, Senior Citizens Community, America's resource for active seniors. seniorscircle.com. seniorsite.com, chat rooms. seniorsmeet.com. seniors-site.com, go-to-message boards. seniors-site.com/buelltinm/penpals.html. seniorwoo.com. silverdaddies.com. silverfishing.com. silversingly.com, over 10 million members. silversrefers.net. singlesnews.net/Denver_Colorado/seniors_groups.htm. singles-over-40.meetup.com. singlespreview.com. spicy-senior-singles.com. suddenlysenior.com. suddenlysenior.com/praiseolderwomen.html. sugardaddy.com. the-online-dating-reviews.com/senior-online-dating.html. theseniorbachelor.com. the-senior-friend-finder.com. thesocialplace.com, over 40 years old. thirdage.com, for older folks. thirdageconnections.com. thirdagepersonals.com. Over 40. 30plussingles.com. windsoflove.com. writeseniors.com, write a senior citizen, pen pal. yourtimesingles.com. zoomersingly.com. Senior sex dating websites. milfdating.com. seniorseyeszle.com, sex dating for seniors. mature.adultfriendfinder.com, swingers. mature.sexyads.net. findingloveafter50.com/sex-seniors.html. seniorsx.org. widower dating websites. You don't have to be over 50 to be a widow, but most widows are. widowedzingly.org. findingloveafter50.com/widower_dating_thirdage.html. groups.yahoo.com/group/widow_widower_dating. widow.info. widowsarwidowers.com. catholicpeople.com/catholic-widow.htm. datingforseniors.com. widow.com. Older people dating blogs at blog.feedspot.com/dating_over_50_blogs. 50more.com/blog. avenuesdating.co.uk/r-blog. dating50plustips.com/category/blog. findequalityman.com/blog. maturitydating.co.uk/category/blog. over50datingsites.org. stitch.net/blog. zoosk.com/date-mix/over-50-dating. blog.feedspot.com/fitness_over_50_blogs. blog.feedspot.com/dating_over_50_rss_feeds. feedspot.com/news/dating_over_50. blog.feedspot.com/over_50_magazines. Baby boomer websites to socialize. My definition of a baby boomer is someone born between 1945 and 1964. agingbabyboomerguide.com. aginghipsters.com. AussieBabyBoomers.com, Aussie Baby Boomers. babyboomermagazine.com. babyboomers.com. babyboomer-travel.com. bbb.org.uk, chat site for the over 50s. bbhq.com, Baby Boomer Headquarters. boomerbaby.com. boomerbreakpoints.com. boomercafe.com. boomerhumor.com. boomerproject.com. boomerradio.com. boomersabroad.com. boomersassociation.com, International Association of Baby Boomers. boomersforever.com. boomersint.com. boomersint.org. boomersmakingadifference.com. boomerstv.com. boomertrends.com. boomerwatch.ca. boomerwomenspeak.org. boomthis.com. cafebabyboomers.com. grandboomers.com. navw.com, National Association of Baby Boomer Women. seniorjournal.com/babyboomers.htm. sobabyboomer.com. stuffforboomers.com. theptistalmagazine.com, Baby Boomers. troikamagazine.com, Affluent Baby Boomers.